Hello. Hi. Okay, so I'm Lizbett, and this is Voices Made Mother, Creative Expression and Community on Campus. So, Voices Made Mother is the title of my thesis project, which includes monologues, a string of monologues investigating women's relationships to mothers, mothering, and the institution of motherhood, based upon interviews that I conducted with women on campus. And then also Ill, an autobiographical one-woman show following my mother line, or the relationship of my grandmother to my mother and my mother to myself. So, theater. Theater is an extraordinarily powerful medium that can serve to expose the fallacies of the patriarchal, capitalist, hegemonic, and white supremacist imperialist order. That's a lot. So within theater, new modes of being and possibilities for humankind can be imagined through the performance of radical stories and reimagined worlds. Theater is the vehicle by which I've been able to start conversations surrounding the misogyny, sexism, and discrimination that women-identified persons, and particularly mothers, face. So by bringing true, raw, and deeply personal content into the public sphere, it becomes clear that pain and injustice are often kept private, and we fail to recognize others who are suffering in silence. One's stories communicate worlds of information that so often fall upon deaf ears. I value narrative, interpersonal communication, and artistic expression as sites of resistance and vehicles to movement building. First-person narrative is the most intimate way to share a story, engage an audience, and oftentimes build community. First-person narrative commands attention. It gives that person voice and agency and allows for representations of people, groups, and communities that are respectful, sensitive, varied, and oftentimes political. An attendee of Voices Made Mother wrote, "Thanks for sharing your story with us. It helps others share their truth." Another wrote, "Thank you for opening up and sharing. You will slowly sow all your words, but while you are doing that, you will help and motivate other men and women to share their stories and heal themselves." So it's these seeds that have been sown, the conversation started, and the people who shared in this work and this presentation that also create community. This is all very important work because there's a serious undervaluation of women and mothers in this society, and this affects everyone. It isn't just an isolated issue pertinent to any one group, but really it affects us all. We all have caretakers, right? Mothers of sorts, sisters, daughters, women-identified friends, what have you, and we must care for them too. So problems sort of inherent in this type of work, this type of artistic, community-based work, have to do with how issues of voice, authority, and ownership are reconciled in the process of constructing narratives and the representations that result. Also, one has to think, how appropriate is this aesthetic for engaging with the politics of speaking with, for, or about communities? So others doing similar work, Cherry Moraga, Deborah Hursford, the TMI Project in the Hudson Valley, and Rosemary Georgeson. So what now? We have to continue to have open, heartfelt, honest discussions about the pain and injustice that we experience. We keep talking, we keep writing, we keep gathering, and we keep reading. We create and we sustain communities of mothers, women, and allies to do work, to create art, to draft legislation, to take care of our children, to recognize the dignity and value of all forms of life. We demand paid maternity leave, health insurance, and counseling services for mothers and children. We demand affordable childcare, equal pay for equal labor, and the protection of all families under the law. So some resources include Moms Rising, and you can read the Motherhood Manifesto, Strong Families, Uniting Families Under the Law and Fighting for Immigrant Women, Domestic Workers, and Their Children, Journal of the Motherhood Initiative, it's a primary source for motherhood studies material. There's a feminist performance art group, Mother Art, Planned Parenthood, and the YWCA are both two local examples. So get involved, and if you don't know how, ask. So that's everything. Thank you.